Frank Richards was the only person on Earth who could remain unharmed even after taking a cannonball to the stomach. Nothing seemed to affect him. He was like a human tank. Yes, today we embark on an unbelievable journey where we step outside the bounds of reality to meet some people who defy imagination, like Kirby Roy, who feels no pain, Norman Gary, who mingles with bees. From the king of the jungle to the human battery, nothing will be left out. And there are many more stories on this list. So, without further ado, let's witness firsthand the incredible abilities of these living superhumans. First, let's talk about someone whose way of speaking will astound you, John Soverell. The amazing thing is that his secret language can only be understood by pressing the rewind or reverse button.
I am speaking backwards.
John possesses a special ability through which he can speak or even sing backward. He discovered this ability when he accidentally played a record backward at the age of 5. Now, at 55, John can not only think or imagine in reverse but also instantly speak words, sentences, and even entire songs backward. While many struggle to sing normally, John sings a whole song in reverse, unimaginable.
Once a thrifty shed, dashing through the snow, and on horse open sleigh, o'er the fields to go.
But John isn't the only person with such an extraordinary ability. Meet Michel Lotito, also known as Monsieur Mange-Tout, meaning Mr. Eat-All. How is this possible? Well, John's stomach has such powerful acid that it helps him digest almost 1 kilogram of metal every day. Throughout his life, he has eaten everything from bicycles to shopping carts, computers, and even a pair of skis. God only knows what his toilet was like. But that's not all. His biggest meal was an entire airplane, which took him 2 years to consume. And the most surprising thing is that he died of natural causes, not from any stomach ailment. Now, let's get acquainted with the most flexible person on Earth, Alexei Gold. Actually, calling him just flexible would be an understatement. As a child, his mother took him to the circus, and it was there that he realized he had to be something different. And that's exactly what he chose to do. Not only can he bend his body into any shape, but he can also contort himself in ways that seem physically impossible to watch. It appears as if his entire spine is made of flesh. Since we started talking about flexibility, we are also compelled to mention Stephen Holm because no ordinary athlete can jump as high as him. While regular athletes clear certain heights, Stephen jumps twice as high, even though he is only 5 feet 11 inches tall. And his jumping barriers are even higher than that. He even surpasses the jumping height of the legendary basketball star LeBron James. It's an unbelievable skill. Now, if we are talking about someone with exceptional shooting skills, no one is better than Bob Munden. He was the fastest gun in the world. He was born with 5 times more twitches in his hand, which helped him acquire the skill to shoot targets perfectly. He could fire so quickly that his shots were almost invisible to the naked eye. Incredibly, he could fire 2 shots in less time than it takes for an eye to blink. Let's now meet Eric Weihenmayer. Eric is not just an ordinary mountaineer. When he was only 4 years old, he was diagnosed with the rare disease retinoschisis, and by the age of 13, he had become completely blind. This is a condition that can cause immense despair for most people, but for Eric, no obstacle was too great. Incredibly, his blindness didn't stop him from climbing mountains. Imagine doing all these things without being able to see anything. And even more astonishing is that Eric has the honor of reaching the highest peaks of every continent on Earth. In 2001, Eric reached the summit of Mount Everest, over 29,000 feet high, becoming the first blind person to do so. Okay, we can all agree that Eric is the king of mountaineering, but you have to admit that Kevin Richardson is the king of the jungle. Yes, Kevin has such a deep relationship with lions that he roams freely with them without any fear. The funny thing is, if I were there, I would always be afraid that I might become their next meal. But it doesn't end there. He plays with the lions, has fun with them, and even rides on their backs. But the most amazing thing is how he can remain so calm. It seems as if Richardson can even whisper to the lions. But Norman Gary seems to have an even better understanding with animals because he can control a creature that scares people, one that you wouldn't believe unless you saw it with your own eyes. After studying bees for over 40 years, Norman has understood how to control their movements. What's the real secret here? The funny thing is that he covers himself with a type of hormone that the queen bee uses. So, the bees think that Norman is their queen. Using this method, he can cover his entire body with over 100,000 bees and roam around the city, and surprisingly, not a single bee stings him. Norman's ability is immense, but his subsequent abilities are even more unbelievable. There is a person who can conduct millions of volts of electricity through his body, and another can survive even after a live cannonball hits his stomach. But before that, let me tell you about the person who is resistant to snake venom. For over 20 years, Amfred has been injecting small amounts of snake venom into his body, as a result of which he has become capable of withstanding the venom of even the most dangerous snakes in the world. Yes, he has intentionally exposed himself to the world's deadliest snakes more than 200 times, including cobras, vipers, and even the most dangerous snake of all, the black mamba. Yet, just 2 drops of venom from these poisonous snakes are enough to cause certain death. Amfred says that his body has millions of antibodies against the black mamba. Unbelievable. But this Amfred is not the only person who has pushed his limits. Where a snake bite means certain death, this person plays with electricity. Biba is a person who can withstand even a 1,000,000-volt shock. He can store electricity in his body and even cook with his bare hands. Yes, you heard me right. Known as the human battery, Biba was born with skin that has no sweat glands, which keeps his skin completely dry. This is why he can withstand such high voltages of electricity that could be fatal for others. Now, meet Combat King Master Kirby, whose tolerance is so high that any blow to his body doesn't hurt him in the slightest. Yes, this man doesn't even flinch after receiving blows to the most sensitive parts of his body. What would you do? However, Roy is best known for enduring tremendous blows to his neck, which would be impossible for anyone else. But he has gone even a step further. He hired trained American gladiators to deliver full-force blows to his most sensitive areas. The force of those blows was about 450 kilograms. It's spine-chilling just to think about it. But Kirby takes this task so lightly that nothing seems to happen to him. He literally laughs in the face of death, just like Frank "Cannonball" Richards. He wasn't afraid of anything, not even a cannon shot aimed directly at him today. In the 1920s, Frank Richards prepared his body in such a way that even the most violent blows couldn't weaken him. No matter how hard he was hit or what he was hit with, be it a punch, a hammer blow, or anything else, nothing affected him. People would even jump on his stomach to test if anything would happen, but nothing did. Once, he even bravely withstood a blow from heavyweight champion Jack Dempsey, and that blow didn't harm him either. But his most extreme feat was being hit by a 47 kilograms cannonball, and at the peak of his career, he would do this madness twice a day. You can imagine, Frank was like a walking human tank.